stuff that you do is super cool. I'm not sure when this is going to be released, but like in particular, the class that you're doing, that you're promoting right now, that sounds so interesting. Do you mind telling us a little bit about that?
Yeah, so we have a bunch of classes coming up, but the next one on September 6th is a quantum mysticism masterclass, and this is here's the thing. You hear the word quantum thrown around by like every influencer in the semi-spiritual, pseudo-spiritual space, and none of them have any fucking clue what it means, and it's obnoxious. So I'm presenting a class on what that actually means, what the quanta in quantum physics is, string theory and panpsychism, and how these concepts interrelate to create a very real magical paradigm that everyone can understand. And it's not about math. There's no math in the class. It's just conceptual. But it's trying to give people clarity on what the fuck is 5D. Like, what is that, right? What are these things that you hear all about, but no one seems to know anything about?
It's like, it's so funny. In my brain, I kind of refer to it as kind of Instagram spirituality word salad, because and I try not to judge too much other people's paths, despite being a Virgo, but it's hard when you hear that shit and you're going, okay, but like, what does that actually mean? Like, what exactly are you trying to tell people? What exactly are you trying to say? And I think one positive from that being kind of saturated in this space is I think a lot of people have learned to just tune it out, which is kind of good, because then we can actually get like your class where there's concrete answers of like, okay, so but what does that mean and how can it work for you?
Yeah, it's really important that people understand this, because these are real concepts and you can understand them. They're not even super complicated, but I've had conversations with people where I say, well, what does 5D mean to you? And there's like, it's like a higher vibration, man. And I'm like, okay. So in string theory, there's 11 dimensions of hyperspace. We live in the third, the fourth is time, and the fifth is the next set of dimensional space above ours. And you can really turn this into a very understandable spiritual concept. If there are fifth dimensional beings or entities, which I believe there are, and that's what we could call the spirit realm or the astral, then they are not bound by the same in time that we are. And that's something that real theoretical physicists are talking about, but they're calling them dark matter life forms. It's just a little bit different language, but like, it does not have to be this woo-woo concept that makes everyone roll their eyes.
Absolutely. And I think it's interesting that you just mentioned kind of the research and investigation that's being done in that realm, just in the land of science right now, which is very compelling, super interesting when it comes to energy or the nature of consciousness or different, like it's actually quite incredible how much is being done kind of in this space right now, and very exciting, especially for magicians kind of that have a similar philosophy to the one that I have, and I know that you do, which is sort of like magic can be this thing that marries both the mundane realm and kind of these other spaces.
Totally. And this has been going on forever. There was an experiment done in Russia in the early 90s with what they call a time mirror, and everyone thought it was nonsense. And then recently it was discovered that this was a real thing, that if you send a particular kind of photon into a particular type of mirror, it comes out with a reverse time signature, like this. And it's a concave mirror, okay? And that's exactly what Nostradamus was using to make his predictions, was a bowl of water, but that bowl of water creates a concave mirror, right? So yeah. I love the idea that these things are real, but if they're real, then we have to be able to explain them. And if we can't explain them, that doesn't mean they're not real, but we should try as hard as we can, because I don't trust things that I don't understand.
Yes. And it's very easy, I think, for people to also be overly dismissive. And then, of course, if you are overly dismissive of kind of like esoteric concepts or anything like that, you're not able to benefit from them. But then also it creates kind of like a cultural paradigm where people are afraid to practice because they're worried about ridicule. And of course, anybody that's kind of in either of our worlds would probably be a little bit beyond worrying about that. But by the same token, I think the world could be healed by more people standing in their power and believing in magic and really recognizing the power that we have as a collective and as individuals. So I love that.
Yeah, I think one of the biggest problems that we're facing is that people oversimplify, and that oversimplification, serious people will then not take it seriously. So, I was having a conversation with somebody a couple of weeks ago where I was saying, at the core of this, what's really, really, really important is that you program yourself a particular way, that your beliefs are the operating system of your mind, right? Your beliefs inform your thoughts and your emotions, and your thoughts and emotions inform your actions, and your actions determine what happens in your life, right? But when you say it just like, oh, you just gotta like believe, man, like I'll fucking listen to you.